Hello?
Congratulations, son.
Thank
You
you.
number one. You number one. I was sleeping. I kept hearing my notifications. And when I looked, you was like 79 and it counted. And like, I'm so happy for you, baby. You worked so hard. And you deserve
Yes, sir.
this so much. And we watching and we're so proud of you, everybody. Babe, I love you so much. Babe, I'm so proud of you. You're number one. And you my son. And I'm so happy to be your mom.
There's a certain kind of young man the world meets before he ever gets the chance to meet himself. A young man raised inside environments so loud, survival becomes its own language long before maturity arrives to translate it. Cenat grew up in a world where the noise wasn't entertainment, it was life. It was moving from place to place. It was watching his mother carry weight no kid should have to understand. It was trying to become something before life forced him into becoming nothing. And when life is that loud, that early, attention doesn't feel like vanity. It feels like escape. Kai didn't start loud because he wanted to be seen. He started loud because the world never gave him space to be quiet. But that's only the beginning of the story. Because eventually, he would learn the difference between raising your voice just to be heard and learning how to control the room without ever needing to scream. From exposure to overexposure. The internet rewards the bold, the energetic, the ones who make you feel like the room is alive again. And in the beginning, that energy made Kai a star in real time. But exposure quickly became overexposure. Every clip had commentary, every reaction had a response, and every mistake had a punishment. Older generations didn't understand him. Some said that he was too wild, some said that he represented the downfall of youth, some saw him as chaos personified. But they weren't watching a grown man. They were watching a kid who finally found a microphone big enough to outshine the circumstances he grew in. He chased the noise because the noise was familiar. He chased fun because fun was survival. He chased opportunity because opportunity had never chased him. And then the room shifted. The lights got brighter. The pressure grew heavier. And the consequences arrived faster than the childhood he barely had time to experience. When the world needed a villain. If you want to understand the pressure Kai carries, you have to start with the moment people turned him into a symbol for someone else's mistake. One of his associates was accused of assaulting a woman. A serious situation, a devastating situation. And instead of aiming their anger at the person responsible, the internet aimed it at Kai. He wasn't the one involved, he wasn't the one who committed the act, but he was the biggest name in the room, so the weight fell on him anyway. Overnight, he became the villain in the story he didn't write. People didn't want clarity. They wanted a headline. And he was the easiest shortcut to outrage. But the criticism didn't stop there. They questioned the girl content. They questioned the loudness. They questioned the sleepovers. They questioned the prison stream. They questioned every part of his world that was built on youthful joy and tried to paint it as irresponsibility. This was a punishment disguised as feedback. And Kai had to stand in the middle of all of it, young, visible, and trying to stay human.
I'm black, I'm so black. Hey.
Problems deepen, growing up with millions watching. Most people get to make their mistakes in private. Kai made his in front of millions. One misstep became a personality trait. One loud night became a character flaw. One bad moment became a summary of who he was. People were judging his age over his actions. And that's the part no one likes to say out loud. The world wasn't angry at Kai. It was angry at the youth itself. He was learning responsibility at the same time he was learning fame. He was learning humility at the same time he was learning visibility. He was learning boundaries at the same time he was learning opportunity. He was trying to grow, and the world was trying to label him. And somewhere in the middle, he realized something important. Noise is easy. Growing up is hard. Doing both at the same time is a pressure that no one prepares you for. Character pivot. The shift that changed everything. Kai always loved the long streams. Not for the numbers, not for the trends, but because they let him be himself without interruption. That seemed to be his sanctuary. But when the world started calling the streams irresponsible, the prison streams, the sleepovers, and the chaotic energy, he had two options. Tone it down or evolve it. Kai pivoted in a way that only people with real emotional intelligence do. He didn't get quieter, he got bigger. Mafiathon, Mafiathon 2, Mafiathon 3. Each one more creative, each one more structured, each one more responsible, each one proving that criticism didn't scare him, it sharpened him. He didn't run from his style, he matured inside it. And that's what growth looks like when it happens in public. Not a personality change, just a deeper intention behind the same passion.
Keep God first. Keep Jesus Christ first. This journey may get larger and larger, but never forget Jesus Christ.
His faith, his gratitude, his center. Every public figure has a moment that reveals who they truly are. For Kai, it isn't a meme. It isn't a scream. It isn't a viral clip. It's the way he talks about his blessings. Kai has all the things young millionaires flex. Cars, jewelry, status, reach. But he refuses to weaponize them. He never speaks from ego. He never brags. He never positions himself as bigger or better. He places God first. He places gratitude second. He places humility in the spot most people put arrogance. That's the symbolic scene of his story. A young man who survived circumstances, earned success, and still chose softness over superiority. The pressure refined him. Becoming a builder instead of a brand. As the criticism grew louder, Kai didn't react. He redirected. He started doing for others. He created Stream University, giving smaller creators access to opportunities he never had. Put on the Clover Boys, Ray, Rakai, Preacher Queese, and dozens of other developing streamers who just needed a chance. He helped turn friends into public figures. He raised money for communities. He listened to advice from elders he once felt misunderstood by. He rebuilt pieces of himself, piece by piece, with intention. And through it all, he never forgot where he came from or the people who helped him rise. AMP didn't just feature him, they founded him. They gave him his break. He honored it by staying loyal, grounded and aligned with the people who believed in him first. The world wanted a showman, and Kai became a leader. And leadership, real leadership, isn't loud. It's patient. The young man who outgrew the volume. Here's the truth that sits beneath everything. If Kai hadn't listened to the criticism as a lesson instead of an attack, he wouldn't be here. If he hadn't learned from the people who weren't even fans of his, he wouldn't have evolved. If he hadn't protected his private life, he wouldn't have survived the pressure. If he hadn't put faith above ego, he wouldn't have direction. And if he hadn't grown from the noise instead of running from it, he wouldn't be a superstar. Kai Cenat outgrew the volume. He didn't have to outgrow his past. He became intentional. He became grounded. He became generous. He became self-aware. He became someone his younger self would look up to. Because he was humble enough to listen, wise enough to adjust, and brave enough to keep becoming himself in front of the world. Kai Cenat didn't just read the room. He learned how to change the room without losing the boy who started in the noise.
Where did that come from?
Question. Now, if you was to see, question. If you was to see this nigga in the streets, bro, he had his own, bro. He like, bro, run that shit, bro.
Kai with a push icy?
Yeah, Kai. It's Kai. Like,
I'm saying, seeing Kai with a push icy, I've never felt more safe around a nigga with a push icy.
Why you feel so safe?
Yo,
that nigga like security.
Yeah.
Security is crazy.
Yo, I was. That nigga got soft eyes.
Sweet little ditty, I don't mean to hurt you, baby. Oh,